Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back for another video. We got Tracy McGrady. How good was Tracy McGrady really? How good was he? He was not just good, he was great. This dude was crazy on the court, I'm telling you, man. Dude was top scoring machine whenever he played on the court. Dude was just... Remember the game he scored? Was it 13 points in like 36 seconds? Something like that. I can't remember what it was, but it was a short amount of time. He scored a lot of points when he played for the Rockets. He was close to get a championship with the Spurs. When he was like had a very limited role on that team, but he was close. The Spurs lost in the finals eventually. But we'll get right to the video. Make sure you guys subscribe if you're new. Hit the like button and let's get it.
So I mean, there's a lot of guys, but the guy that always gave me the most problems actually was Tracy McGrady.
Tracy McGrady.
Yeah.
Kobe always said that. Kobe always said
Tracy
that.
McGrady with his, he had all the skills.
R.I.P. Kobe. You gotta say that every time Kobe is mentioned in the video, he's in the video, you see him, gotta say R.P. Much respect to him.
And all the athleticism, but he was 6'9".
Shout out to Johnny Arnett. Johnny.
Tracy Lamar McGrady is seen by some as one of the most underrated players of NBA history. He was a 6'8" shooting guard and small forward who had terrific ball handling skills, fantastic range with the ability to hit highly contested shots, and he was a fierce slasher and finisher at the rim. Unfortunately for T-Mac, his career was cut short due to numerous injuries, but most notably of those injuries was his laboring back problems. If it wasn't for the back issues that plagued him, T-Mac would have been much higher on the NBA's all-time list. He's a Hall of Famer who made 7 All-Star teams and 7 All-NBA teams. He didn't have the longevity that many other greats have enjoyed, but when he was in his prime, some would argue that he was as good as just about anyone.
He was.
So how good was Tracy McGrady really? Well, let's take it back to the beginning of his career. Tracy was drafted straight out of high school in 1997 by the Toronto Raptors with a 9th overall pick. He took a bit of time to develop into the superstar player we remember. As an 18-year-old in his rookie season, he averaged just 7 points in only 18 minutes per game. The following year, he saw a slight uptick in his minutes, but he was still averaging just 9 points and nearly 6 rebounds. It wasn't until his 3rd year in the league that McGrady became a solid rotation player. During the 1999-2000 season, McGrady was often in the role of the 6th man for the Raptors. In that role, he averaged 15.4 points, 6.3 rebounds, and 1.9 blocks on 31 minutes per game. At this point, the talent and potential of their star tandem could be clearly seen. Vince Carter was already a premier scorer and superstar, right as McGrady was starting to come into his own, similar to how Scottie Pippen developed alongside of an already elite Michael Jordan. Unfortunately, though, Tracy had something else in mind. During the 2000 offseason, McGrady experienced his first free agency and ended...
Whoa, Tracy. Whoa.
During the 2000 offseason, McGrady experienced his first free agency and ended up signing with the Orlando Magic. By doing this, Tracy was returning to his home state of Florida, where he would no longer be under the shadow of Vince Carter and could begin to lead his own franchise. It's a move that McGrady has since said that he regrets, but we'll touch on that more later. Assisting McGrady in Orlando was supposed to be the newly signed superstar Grant Hill, but Hill only played 4 games in their first season together as his ongoing ankle injury started to ruin his career as a star from this point on. This meant that T-Mac was now, for the first time, given the wheel of a franchise and was in a position where he would need to carry the team offensively. And in this position, McGrady thrived. That year, he averaged 26.8 points, 7.5 rebounds, 4.6 assists, 1.5 steals, and 1.5 blocks on 46% shooting. He was only 21 years old, and he was a monster on both sides of the ball and won the Most Improved Player award as he drug his shorthanded Magic into the playoffs. Over the next 3 years with the Magic, he continued his dominance, leading the league in scoring 2 out of those 3 seasons, averaging 32 points per game and 28 points per game. During this window of McGrady's dominance with the Magic, the ongoing debate was between Kobe and McGrady as to who was the best wing player in the NBA. In McGrady's first 3 years with Orlando, he led them to the playoffs each of those seasons. But in his fourth year, much of the supporting talent was gone. The team was dealing with a slew of injuries. Doc Rivers had been fired 11 games into the season, and drama was going on behind the scenes between McGrady and the team's general manager. This all led up to McGrady being traded that offseason to the Houston Rockets. A 25-year-old McGrady was now paired up with Houston's new superstar big man, Yao Ming, in what looked like it was shaping up to be a Western Conference contender for years to come. The duo won 51 games, with McGrady averaging around 25 points, 6 rebounds, and 6 assists. This was McGrady's only completely healthy season with the Houston Rockets. His signature moment with the team was when he rallied his Rockets to beat the San Antonio Spurs after trailing by 8 points with less than 40 seconds remaining in the game. He scored 13 points in the final 35 seconds in what was likely the greatest comeback in NBA history. This was the last iconic image of McGrady as a healthy and ascending superstar, because in the season after that, his career-burdening back problems began. He would have some solid production in the few years after that, but he would never again see the elite days of Orlando or of his first season in Houston. If you look at some of the greatest wing players of NBA history, like Jordan, Kobe, Wade, and LeBron, and give them a career-altering back injury by the time they're 26 years old, well, then that completely changes their legacies. Numerous MVPs, championships, and scoring titles erased from history as a result. This was the kind of talent and trajectory T-Mac was on before the injury bug took over. Essentially, we only had a 5-year window to witness a healthy and featured Tracy McGrady. During T-Mac's best years, he kept losing in the first round of the playoffs, but it's not like it was because he was usually underperforming. In fact, his numbers actually often rose in the playoffs despite the stiffer competition. He simply didn't have the circumstances or best opportunities to win like he could have had. McGrady's career was basically a giant collection of near misses and what-ifs. What if McGrady and Carter never split up from Toronto? They would have been a force. Kobe Bryant once said in an interview concerning this duo that with McGrady and Carter and their numerous vets on the team, had they have stuck together, they could have won championships. If Grant Hill isn't suffering from career-ruining foot injuries, maybe McGrady and Hill are contending for titles with the Orlando Magic. If back injuries aren't laboring McGrady, maybe the Rockets are winning championships, especially in the 2008 to 2009 season. That Rockets team, led by Ron Artest and Yao Ming, pushed that season's champion, the Los Angeles Lakers, to a 7th game in the West semifinals. They were the closest of any team that year to defeating the champion Lakers, despite the fact that they had lost McGrady for the year early in the season. If a healthy T-Mac is available with Artest and Yao Ming, that's likely enough to win the title that year. Regardless, a short and burdened career is what we got from McGrady, but we still remember his talent and his peak. When he was at his best, he was one of the greatest scorers of all time. He was an elite rival to Kobe Bryant as one of the best players in the league, and he was one of the most all-around dominant wing players of NBA history. Let me know in the comment section where you rank a prime Tracy McGrady among the best wing players of all time. Make sure to like.
He gotta be in the top 10. Gotta be. I'm not gonna put him high like top 5 because a lot of great wing players from like back in the day, like the 70s and 80s. But T-Mac, he just could do it all on the court. He just could do everything on the court. That's crazy. But T-Mac, if it weren't for those injuries and Grant Hill being injured, and maybe if he hadn't left Toronto so early, maybe he would have had a better career. Who knows? But thanks for watching. Subscribe if you're new. Let me know what y'all think about Tracy McGrady and his greatness and how great he was back in the day. And make sure you subscribe, hit the like button, and I'm out. Peace.